All right, I'm Kenny Whitworth here in Los Angeles, and we begin with our top story at this hour. Let's take a look at stocks extending their rally now for a third day in a row, up huge despite mixed signals from President Trump and his top advisors on tariffs. Today, Trump confirming to reporters that trade negotiations with China are ongoing, despite Chinese officials claiming that any suggestion of progress is, quote, fake news. But when pressed by reporters again today, Trump said that additional talks took place as recently as this morning.
Well, they had a meeting this morning, so I can't tell you. It doesn't matter who they is. We may reveal it later, but they had meetings this morning, and we've been meeting with China.
Joining me with more is ABC News' Jacqueline Lee in Los Angeles, along with ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang there in Washington. So, look, Jacqueline, investors clearly expressing some optimism. May it be newfound. What's driving the stocks higher today?
Yep, that's right, Kana. It's that optimism that a trade deal can be reached with China. And with President Trump saying that they're negotiating with China, remember, if tariffs go down on either side, that's good for everybody, but especially the American consumer, who is very concerned about what the economy and what their wallets look like. Today, tech stocks popping like Nvidia, Meta, Tesla, Amazon, and Microsoft, given that the White House has softened its trade stance. Remember that President Trump said he expects tariffs to go down significantly with China. NASDAQ gaining 2.5% so far, or 427 points. S&P 500 up 105 points, or 1.96%. Kata.
Well, so, Selena, what are we hearing from the White House now on what they are clearly calling negotiations, or these alleged negotiations with China? What do we know?
Yeah, Kana, I mean, there is a clear split screen between what the Chinese side are saying is going on and what the president and his administration are. So for days, President Trump has been painting this very rosy picture of optimism that the Chinese are going to come to the negotiating table and they're going to strike a deal. He even said yesterday that there are these daily active conversations with Chinese counterparts. But today, you played the soundbite when he was asked about who exactly the U.S. side is speaking with on the Chinese side. The president simply said they are talking, and even as of this morning, he said there were talks. But what is very striking is that Beijing is flat out denying all of this. They are saying that those claims are fake news, that there are no talks happening, that they haven't had any consultations, they haven't had any negotiations. So Beijing here is continuing to play hardball, but they have said that the door is open for talks, but not when President Trump is employing this strategy that they're calling threatening and blackmailing. Now, what is also interesting is that some China experts tell me that what they believe is that Beijing sees themselves as having the upper hand, and their strategy of waiting this out, of being patient and playing hardball, as working, because they see the president negotiating with himself live on television, talking about potentially substantially lowering those tariffs. And sources tell us that the president is also considering exemptions on auto parts from China.
Well, it's interesting. So China aside, Selena, what about the trade talks with other countries?
Yeah, I mean, the clock is ticking for this 90-day deadline to strike a whole range of deals. The White House says more than 100 countries have reached out. But we are getting some indication today that they could be close to striking their first deal. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, he said today in the Oval Office that they met with the South Koreans today. He said it was a very successful negotiation. He said they could be having talks about the technical details as early as next week. He was praising South Korea for coming early and bringing their A game.
All right, Jacqueline and Selena, our thanks to both of you.